I love a salad niçoise. It's one of my absolute favorite things. When I am in France, I try to sort of have one every day, if not every second day, and try to find the best one. So my sister and I definitely have done that in Paris, and recently my husband and I did it as well. This one has got a couple extra little twists in there that my Uncle Scott inspired me to include, which is some orange and tarragon. So in terms of those aniseed and citrus flavors, this just adds another little kick to a really beautiful dressing. The dressing is where I'm going to get started. So I want to zest my oranges, and then we're actually also going to use their juice. So because we have potatoes in this recipe, we know they're little sponges, as well as some of these other delicious ingredients. We really want this dressing to be just so delightful. I don't mind if there's a little bit of juice at the end, and if you've got some of your favorite bread on hand to mop it all up, even better. So we've got the beautiful zest of those two glorious oranges. I also want to juice them. So if I have all of my dressing ingredients ready and off to the side, just like with all mise en place, it makes it easier in terms of process. So we'll quickly juice these oranges. So that's our oranges juiced. Now, because they're such gorgeous oranges and there's no pips, I'm gonna save some of that pulp because I think that's only gonna add another beautiful texture to our dressing. So we've got our mortar and pestle here, going to put in all of our zest there. Next are our anchovies. So because we're using tuna in this dish, this adds another umami note to it. And I think if anything, it just sort of accentuates the beautiful tuna flavors. So the sweetness from the oranges is really going to complement that rich saltiness and umami flavor of the anchovies. So now we're going to put in some garlic. Because we're going to mortar and pestle this, I can get away with doing a bit of a rough dice. And even though we're creating a bit of a paste, I don't mind seeing flecks of each of these ingredients in our dressing. And the acidity in the orange juice and in the red wine vinegar that we're about to add will actually help to soften those harsh raw garlic notes. It sort of tends to almost cure it slightly. So that's plenty because we're about to pulverize it. We also have some beautiful fresh tarragon here. Now, this may not be as commonly used as it used to be, but I don't know why, because it's delicious. So we'll give it a bit of a rough dice here, give it a helping hand, and then we'll pop that into the mortar and pestle as well. So it's quite a full mortar and pestle, so we really have to give this a good pounding to knock out some of the volume so that we can really get down to it. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. So now we have a beautiful paste in there, the tarragon and the citrus together, and then the garlic and the anchovies. It smells incredible. And the anchovies are entirely pulverized. So if you have an aversion to the texture, I think that you can give this one a try and still be safe. I'll scrape out all of that deliciousness. It's just a flavor bomb in there. Then we're going to add some Dijon mustard. Then we have some red wine vinegar. I'm gonna use about half to start with, and then we can adjust it if we need to. Now, I saved this orange juice pulp for a reason, because that's more texture. And then some orange juice. They were really juicy oranges, so we might just see how we go. Some olive oil. Extra virgin is a great one to use while it's raw because it's got all of the goodness in there. So it's more of a flavoring than necessarily a cooking oil. We have some beautiful black pepper. I know this seems like a lot of work for a dressing, but trust me, it's so worth it. So give that a good stir around, and then we're gonna give it a taste test because we can obviously adjust it with more juice, vinegar, or olive oil as we need. But it is generous. Generosity is definitely the name of this salad game. So we want to prepare our tuna because it'll take about the same amount of time to cook as it will for me to dice up the other vegetables. So I want to put some pepper and salt on our tuna. Now you can use a barrel of tuna and slice it like that. Or this beautiful steak is going to work equally well, which we will cut against the grain for presentation. So we want to oil our tuna on both sides rather than the pan. I'm going to use a griddle just to get another little textural element in there. Alrighty. So wait for that to come to heat. We can put our tuna steak on because we really want it to sear and get some of those nice bar marks across it. We only want to cook it till it's opaque about a third of the way up, then flip it over. Similar on the other side, but not quite a third. So when we slice it, we're going to have beautiful sear on both sides with raw tuna in the middle. While that's happening, I can prepare my beans. So they've been topped and tailed, and I just want to slice them on a long angle. I quite like these beans raw for this dish. If you wanted to blanch them and refresh them really briefly just to soften them, please go ahead. I'm gonna allow these to sit in the dressing, so the citrus and acid in there is enough to soften them just slightly to my liking, but please do as you're comfortable. So all of our beans are done. I can feel the heat from that pan, so I think it's ready to put our tuna on. Oh yeah, nice sizzle. Pop that aside, dress some of our ingredients. We have our beans into our salad bowl. We have our steamed or boiled potatoes. I'm gonna cut them just one bit smaller, and the more surface area of those potatoes, the more dressing can stick to it. So I can see that that tuna is about 5 mil opaque up the side. I want it to get a little bit more than that, and then we'll give it a flip. Potatoes into our dressing, along with our tomatoes and our capers and some beautiful chives. Give that a good drenching in that delicious umami, sweet, sour dressing. So this dressing is gonna act as a bit of a post-marinade for our tuna as well, because we have only seasoned it really lightly. So that is also going to just love this dressing. And as soon as the heat from the tuna hits this, if you wanted to serve this while it's warm, it's going to be very fragrant as you take it to your diners. We've got about 1/3 of the way up on our piece of tuna. So we'll give it a flip. Some nice bar marks from that grill. It's not gonna take long on this side at all, especially if you like your tuna medium rare to rare on the inside. I'm actually happy with that, so I'm gonna take it off. I like my tuna quite a bit rare. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So you can see the grain of the piece of the tuna steak. I want to cut across there. It avoids you having to use a knife again, and it softens the piece as you're chewing it. So I'm gonna cut across that grain. That is just perfect. So we can see that we've got a beautiful sear top and bottom, and that gorgeous rawness in the middle. So this piece would probably be 2 serves. So one for you at home and one for me for lunch. We also have our eggs. Just want to prepare everything now. So soft boiled eggs. We've got our dehydrated olive crumb. You can find this on our website, so you know how to do that. And this is always my favorite part. Getting to plate up all of that hard work. Wasn't actually very hard, it was all very enjoyable really. A bit of everything. Make sure that there's potato and beans and tomato and capers. And we'll take some of our beautiful tuna pieces. We want to be able to see all of that color. Our gorgeous soft boiled egg. And then some of our dehydrated olive crumb just across the middle there. Another textural seasoning really. And there we have our Nicoise salad, a little bit special. Enjoy.